We're here at GW University in Washington, D.C., and there's some encampments that are protesting against Israel. They were taught that the only way to be pro the Palestinian people is by being against Israel. So let's have some conversations and discussions and see what they truly have to say. Yalla, let's go. I'm wearing a talit and a Magen David.
That's a fake kofia, brother.
This is a talit.
What is that?
You know, just because you don't know about Jewish culture doesn't mean you have to say it's your culture. I'm not attacking you. You shouldn't be attacking me. You willing to have a conversation?
Things with people like you.
What is people like me? Jews that are strong, that are proud of who they are?
I'm a Jew. I'm proud of my.
Yeah? Are you for the right for Jews to be able to live in the land of Israel?
Absolutely not.
I'm not talking about the way the state is structured. I'm saying the right for Jews to be able to live in the land. The first thing you said is absolutely not. So how are you going to claim that you're a strong Jew, proud of who you are?
Because Judaism is a religion. We did not spawn from Israel. My genetic ancestry comes from Poland and Russia. It does not come from.
Actually, if you check your DNA, it's Ashkenazi DNA is Jewish Middle Eastern DNA found in Europe. Right?
I mean,
and you're saying
that's not what 23andMe said.
that if you look into the description, European Jewish DNA means Middle Eastern DNA that's found in Europe, which is why the Cohen DNA, you know what a Cohen is, of course, right? Poland, in Zimbabwe, and Yemen all descend from one male ancestor, because it's not an ideology that crossed over borders. It's an ancient civilization that was smashed and forced out. And you said that Judaism is a religion. If you don't believe in Hashem and the Torah, you're still a Jew, correct? Right? If you don't believe in Jesus, you're not a Christian. If you don't believe in Muhammad, you're not a Muslim, because a religion is just a belief system in one thing that anyone can become if they accept it. And Judaism is a portable suitcase of an ancient civilization.
So, just because we all came from Africa doesn't mean that we all have right to claim over the land of Africa.
Right, but that argument you wouldn't give to a Maori in New Zealand or an Aboriginal Australia, saying that because we descend from Africa or back here in the ocean, you wouldn't discredit people's connection to a land.
But we moved. We
were kicked out.
thousands of years ago.
We were kicked out, and there was always a people there, and they should have a right.
Palestinian Jews.
What does that even mean?
A Palestinian Jew is a Jewish person that
Who identifies as a Palestinian Jew? Not one person.
Thousands and thousands of Palestinians that practice Judaism.
Which one? That doesn't exist.
Do Christians and Muslims have claim to that land as well?
No, because it's a collective that has a right to land, not a religion. And I'm making the argument that Judaism is not a religion. Right?
Then what is it?
It's an identity of an ancient civilization. A religion, in any religion, it's defined as a belief system in a God, deity, book, or a prophet. So if a Christian doesn't believe in Jesus, they're no longer a Christian. Muslim rejects the Quran, they're no longer a Muslim. A Buddhist doesn't identify with the philosophy of Buddha, they're not a Buddhist. So it's an ideology that crosses over borders. You can have an Argentinian Christian, Nigerian Christian, Chinese Christian. They're not the same peoples. They just believe in the same belief system.
So I'm
right?
an American Jew.
Right, but you're a Jew because you descend from an ancient line of a civilization.
I'm a Jew because I believe in Adonai as God.
Do you believe in God?
Of course.
And would
I
you
believe in Adonai as God.
Right, but if a Jew doesn't believe in Hashem or in Adonai, would they still be a Jew?
Ethnically,
right,
yes,
so it's more than
but
a religion,
ethnically,
right?
I am Polish.
No, ethnically you're not. Actually, while we were living displaced in Poland, you were always treated as someone that's not white and constantly killed. But what we see right now is a lot of people using Palestinian struggles, which I care deeply about, and using that to use it as ammunition against Israel. And saying the first thing you sold to me is that Jews don't come from that land.
Who is making the Palestinian struggle?
You can say Palestinians are making the Israeli struggle as well. I have people that I know that died from Palestinian hands. I'm not going to blame all Palestinians for that.
There's not an Israeli genocide going on, though. Systematic eradication of an entire people.
So how come the population has grown more than 8x?
It is a terrorist attack. One terrorist attack is not an attempt at a genocide.
Right, so we have to look at the intention.
To round up all Palestinians.
I'm not raising my voice with you, by the way.
I'm sorry.
For sure.
An attempt to round up all Palestinians into Rafah, say that it is a safe zone, and then invade Rafah is an attempt at a genocide.
Do you think that they want to invade Rafah just because there's Palestinians and they want to hurt them, or because there's still Hamas there and might be still hostages there? Do you think if Hamas gave back the hostages and put their weapons back, that they would want to kill Palestinians? The genocide has to do with the intention. For me, one Palestinian dead is one Palestinian dead too much. I don't want any Palestinians to die. So we're already on the same page. You don't have to be arguing me against the life of Palestinians. But we have to look at the intentions. Why is there the IDF wanting to go into Rafah? Because they believe they need to take out Hamas, which is legitimate after what Hamas has done. And they want to rescue their hostages, which is also legitimate. That's the intention. Now, the fact that we're in war, there's going to be deaths on both sides, which is why I do everything to prevent us being in war, because that's what war looks like. But the intention is what makes it a genocide. Every single time Palestinians have died has always been in the battle fire when Israel's shooting back at Hamas. Never Israel targeting Palestinians to kill Palestinians. And if that does exist, I condemn it. But that's not the situation.
Don't platform. Don't talk.
We're not platforming. We're having a legitimate conversation. Okay, so you're insulting.
We're not here for that.
Okay.
No, but you're here to have conversations about how to move forward in the future. It's not a circle because first of all, he's a brother of mine as a Jew, and he has a right to speak to another Jew. And these conversations are the only way that we can actually move forward because there's no future without Jews or Palestinians in that land. So instead of speaking to all the other Westerners, which won't do anything in the land, it's the people who actually live there who can make a difference. I live in Israel. I live in Jerusalem. So I actually have the ability to influence people on that land, so you guys should be wanting to have conversations instead of speaking to everyone else and demonizing my people.
There is no future for Palestinians as long as there is a Jewish-Israeli state
Do you
that
think
occupies that land.
Do you think there could be a way that we both experience this country as ours, Israelis and Palestinians, without the removal of either and with the acceptance of both? That could potentially exist, right?
And Israelistine necessitates
A way that I call it Israel and they call it Palestine, like Burma and Myanmar, right? There's two names for a country that happens sometimes in history. And I should be able to see a Palestinians considering it Palestine and not feeling it takes away from me. And a Palestinian seeing me considering it Israel, which historically was always called Israel, and not feeling that that takes away from them. We're currently positioned as if we're opposed to one another, but we don't have to be, is my point.
right. All we're saying is that the current Israeli regime has been an apartheid regime for its entire existence.
So can you
And
explain to me how it's an apartheid? Because I just want to...
Because there are two systems.
Okay.
One for Israelis who benefit from all of the economic benefits, they get to participate in democracy, they get to vote, they get to live in lands unoccupied. It is, by definition, an apartheid regime.
An apartheid system is a system where you have one government, one country with different rights for different peoples. That's what existed in South Africa because of their color of their skin.
In Israel.
In Israel, all Israelis, including 20% of its Arab/Palestinian population, have full equal rights. Then in the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, it's a separate piece of land under separate autonomy of the Palestinian Authority. And obviously those who are living there don't have rights into Israel, and those who are living in Israel don't have rights into there. Gaza is a separate territory under separate authority, which is Hamas. And obviously people that are living in Gaza don't have rights into Israel, and people in Israel don't have rights into Gaza. For me, I would like to see this one land being united for all. So it doesn't mean it's currently just the system that we have, but it's actually the opposite of an apartheid, because an apartheid would say it's one land and different rights for different peoples. Right now we're talking about 3 separate territories with different jurisdictions with different populations. I can't go into Area A of the Palestinian Authority. I can't go into Gaza. So you're saying it's apartheid against me just because they can't go over here? Now I think we should all be able to access the entire land.
The West Bank should be sovereign and all of the settlements in the West Bank should be rescinded.
What I'm saying is that from the river to the sea, Jews and Palestinians should be free on this land. And me living in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, shouldn't be a problem the same way a Palestinian that is living here and wants to come back should be able to live wherever they want. So the idea of Jews being able to live in the West Bank is not a settlement, right? It's a Jew living there. If we're making the argument that we want Palestinians to live from the river to the sea, we should be making the same argument with the same energy that a Jew should be able to live from the river to the sea. And the fact that a Palestinian under the Palestinian Authority can't go into Israel, which for me is wrong, or a Palestinian living in Gaza can't go into the rest of the land, which to me is wrong, it's just as wrong as I can't go into there. So there's a separation depending on the jurisdiction you fall under different territory, different government, not one land, one government with different rights for different peoples. So it doesn't mean that what you're criticizing is just, it's unjust, and we need to talk about it. But when we use terms like apartheid, it's actually preventing us from understanding the complexities of what's going on and preventing us from correcting it. And that's my point. And also, when you speak to most Jews, I'm sure as a Jew, you've spoken to many Jews, the moment they hear apartheid, they shut off to you. Whereas if you were specific about Palestinians go through checkpoints, they don't have equal access to resources, they have to have an IDF soldier that controls them, that they feel fearful of because they have no representation towards that soldier. If you were specific about the problems that Palestinians actually go through, then Jews and Israelis would be like, wow, yeah, I can see how that affects people, I could see how that's wrong. But the moment you use apartheid, genocide, ethnic cleansing, colonization, settlements, which in reality is what the West did to the world, and what we see right now is the far left feels so guilty for the crimes of their ancestors that they're using Jews and Israel as a scapegoat to push those ideas like they've always done throughout history. The far right blames the Jews for being the left. The far left blames the Jews for being the right. The capitalist blames us for communism. The communist blames us for capitalism. The white supremacists were enemy number one. The black supremacists, the Farrakhan's, were enemy number one. We're literally seeing it as the source of problem for all.
To point out the fact that there is a known
IOF terrorist soldier on our campus right now. I don't think liberation looks like a f***ing IOF soldier on our campus. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Rudy, Rockman, we know you! Rudy, Rockman, we know you! You're complicit in genocide too! You're complicit in genocide too! How many kids did you kill today? How many kids did you kill today? How many kids did you kill today? Rudy, Rockman off our campus! Inshallah, Allah Yakbar! Inshallah, Allah Yakbar! Inshallah, Allah Yakbar! Baby killers off our campus! Baby killers off our campus! Baby killers off our campus! Off our campus!
If you're a Palestinian, you're my cousin. There's no future without you in the land. If Hamas goes into the homes of people and kills them and rapes them and does horrible things for which I know people have gone through that, you should no, I saw it with my own eyes. Listen, I'm not going to minimize your struggle. You shouldn't minimize mine. It actually happened what happened on October 7th. I got out of the army 10 years ago. Right? I served in the army when I was 18 years old as every Israeli. And I was called back for reserves out of nowhere, taken out of my life, taken out of the work that I do to actually unite Israelis and Palestinians. And on October 7th, I was in Kfar Aza, and I saw what Hamas did. I saw babies killed. I saw people raped. I saw people's bodies on the floor after they raped them and killed them and beheaded them. I saw these things that were happening to the Israeli people. So it's not a lie.
Show us so we could believe it.
There's plenty of footage. There's plenty of footage. Even Hamas released the footage about this stuff.